So we are going to start with basic thing, right, which is the introduction to the data analytics with Microsoft Excel, right? I'm going to share my screen now. Let me just make sure some things are in order so that we can get started. Okay. All right. So I want to use this opportunity to officially, right, welcome you to the Data Analysis with Microsoft Excel webinar brought to you by Digital World Tech Academy. Right, so in today's class, what we're going to talk about is Master Excel, right? Mastering Excel, what you need to know about Microsoft Excel, because if you actually want to make money online, there are actually a couple of things you need to do. If you want to make money legally, right? So is it that you have a skill and you are selling it as a service? That's what I do, right? I have a skill. I work as a freelancer. People give me projects. I work on it, then they pay me. Another thing that I also do is I record a course and I'm selling it to people. And I also train both physical and online. That is another source of income for me. Or another way that you can also make money is you are selling a physical product, right? Or you are doing cryptocurrency or stuff like that. But if you don't want to make money legally, there are other ways. But I don't do that. I don't train people for that, and I don't do it. I don't get myself involved in that. So the very first thing is you need to have a skill, right? Even if you want to sell physical products, you need to have a skill about the product you are selling. So there's no question you want to ask me on data analysis or data science or business analysis that I don't know, because I know my product. That's what I'm selling, right? I know my product. That is what I'm selling. So let's say I want to sell this jotter to you, and you're asking me questions about this jotter, right? I want to sell this jotter to you. I don't have any knowledge about it, and you're asking me question about the jotter, then I cannot see anything. That means I don't know my product. So the very first thing is you need to have the skill, know the products that you're selling, right? Then after that is actually the very first part that we're going to go into. Knowing our skill, having the skill first, right? Then after that, unlocking opportunity and building income. There are a lot of opportunity online, right? On the online space. Actually, you don't need to leave your house. I have my own business with my partners, right? If I decide I'm not going to the office tomorrow, there's nobody that will hold me responsible or stuff like that, right? We have over 50 staff. All of them have to go to the office. But if I decide that tomorrow I'm not going to the office, nobody will beat me. And that doesn't stop me from making money, because it's not just only the office that is giving me money. I have other things that I'm also doing, right? I build websites for people with content management system. I do VBA with Microsoft Excel. I do forecasting. I build visualization with Excel, Power BI, SQL, right? I write Python code, right? As a machine learning expert, I do a lot of things, right? All those things also give me money apart from my business. Do you understand now? So if you want to build income, you need to have two things. Have the knowledge. If you want to sell physical products, have the knowledge about the physical product. If you want to sell digital products, have the knowledge about the product. Then you can now start unlocking the opportunity. So we're going to talk about the two today: mastering the Excel skill and unlocking the opportunity in the Excel. And I'm also going to show you my own Upwork account to see jobs there, right? And see some of the jobs I applied for, how to write a proposal, how to set up your portfolio, how to optimize your LinkedIn. We are going to talk about all this, and I'm going to show you, I'm going to break it down step by step for you. All right. So excel your way into digital economy. All right. Are you still ready? This is where I get started, right? Let's know how many of us are ready. Are you all ready? Are you all ready? So in my class, I always play. Whether I'm in data analysis class or data science class or business analysis class, all my students know me. I always play in class. So don't be too serious. Life is not that hard. Enjoy yourself. Hmm? Enjoy yourself. Now, Iran and Israel, they have started their own. So why don't you just enjoy? Because we don't know, Nigeria or Ghana can say they want to start their own tomorrow. So enjoy yourself now, right? Don't be too serious. Okay. If you make money, go and buy every day. I eat meat pie every single day. For my lunch, I have meat pie. So enjoy yourself. Don't be too stressed. All right, so let's get started, right? So, okay, let's get started. So who is this guy? Who is this guy? Who is this person speaking with you? Right? This is me right here a couple of years ago. Right? I went for a conference here and I love the picture. So I've been using it since then. If you don't recognize my face with this, because I'm quite a little bit young here. So, but this is my real face now. My name is Sani Akim Abiodun, right? I'm a computer instructor. I train for living. I'm a data analyst. I work on data, right? Data scientist, I use Python and R as a data science, right? Digital marketer, I love running Facebook ad. I can run Facebook ad. If you wake me up today and ask me any question about Facebook ad, I run it. I know how to do it front and back. I build website for people. And most important, I'm also a freelancer. All these things that I listed out here, they are the things that I do in my freelancing platform, right? I'm also a freelancer. So this is what I do. And I also train people. I sell courses too, right? And I work with Digital World Tech Academy. I'm a partner at Digital World Tech Academy. Myself and my partners, we started Digital World Tech Academy a couple of years ago. And at Digital World Tech Academy, we've been able to achieve a whole lot more, right? We've been able to train more than 15,000 students last year alone, right? Both online and offline. So we are not just training physical. We have 3 branches in Lagos, right? 3 different branches in Lagos in which we train physically, and I still train myself, right? But not every time. But online, I'm always available to train online, right? So we have physical and online training, and we don't only train in Nigeria. We train people from Ghana, Cameroon, South Africa, Canada, UK, China. I have a student in China, Netherlands, and different other countries because online, I don't have to be there now. So it's just on Zoom. So I can train anybody from anywhere. So we train a whole lot of students from online and physical. And we train people and organization. Yes, I forgot to add. We go to people's organization to train them to which we call corporate training on different tech courses ranging from Microsoft Office packages, data analysis, which is my field, data science, cybersecurity, web design and web development, digital marketing, and every other aspect of tech. The only thing that we don't train is scam. We don't know how to scam people, so we don't train people on that one, right? And we don't do crypto. In 2024, we were able to train over 3,000 students physically. I'm still going to tell you one funny thing about that crypto, about myself. I've trained a lot of things, so. So in 2024, we were able to train over 3,000 students physically and more than 10,000 online with 5 organizations, right? That was last year. And let's talk a bit about digital world before we actually get started. So digital world, if you are looking for me here, this is me right here with my face cap and my teeth. If you cannot see me very well, just look at this. This is me right here. Okay, and some of my team members, some of our core team members right there. So about the Institute, Digital World is an online and physical learning platform with the aim of making the tech skill affordable and accessible for everyone in general. And our mission is to make computer education very affordable and accessible to Nigeria and Africa in general. All right, Mr. Mohammed Bello, just calm down. We are going there. Calm down, calm down, calm down. Don't rush. All right, so let's get started. Right, what exactly is data analysis? You just spent 15 minutes. You said you don't tire. Huh? Come on, don't be lazy. Here we are. All right, so what is data analysis, right? What is data analysis? Play, don't be too, calm down, play a little bit. So what is data analysis, right? Data analysis is the process of examining, organizing, and transforming, interpreting raw data. Let me take that again. Data analysis is the process of examining, organizing, transforming, and interpreting raw data to extract meaningful insights, identify patterns, and support decision making. Now, let me take the definition again. So for the purpose of those that are jotting down. So I said data analysis is the process of organizing, of examining, that is the very first stage, examining, organizing, transforming, and interpreting raw data to extract meaningful insights, identify patterns, and support decision making. Now, it involves a range of techniques and tools depending on the type and complexity of the data, as well as the goal of the analysis. Let's move forward. No, let me explain. Right? So let's break it down. Data analysis is the process of examining, Now, as an analyst, the moment you get your data, the very first thing is to examine your data, right? You need to know the type of data you are dealing with. Which type of data am I dealing with? Is this a sales data? Is it a user? You need to know the type of data you are dealing with, right? That is why we give you a little bit of understanding, right? A little bit of understanding. Let's move to the practical. We cannot move to the practical without the theory. We have new people, so you need to calm down. Please calm down. We will get to the practical. Calm down. If I start practical now, you don't understand what I'm doing. You won't. We won't be able to achieve anything. So let's take it bit by bit, right? So let me go back. Data analysis is the process of examining your data, right? You need to know what your data is all about, right? Which type of data am I dealing with? After that, which software can help me to achieve what I want to do with this data? What do I want to achieve, and which software can help me to achieve it? So there are some data you will get that Excel cannot do. And you have some clients that will give you data and they will tell you, they want you to use this particular software. I've gotten quite a lot of projects like that people will tell you, no, don't use Excel for this data. Use Python, right? I got one machine learning project, and the person was telling me that I have to use R, right? The very first thing you need to know is know the type of data you are dealing with and know what you want to achieve with the data. That's why we give you the software to use, right? So if you are dealing with Excel, cannot take more than a million 45,000 data sets. That is what Excel can take. If you have over a million data, let's say 1,500,000 data, then you know that Excel cannot deal with that, right? Excel cannot deal with that. So that rules out Excel. So maybe you want to take it to Python, or you want to take it to SQL, or you want to take it to Power BI, or is R you want to use. So after examining your data, you also, as an analyst, you must always have a jotter if you want to work on anything, right? If you want to work on anything, because while examining your data, you want to know what you want to do with that data. Do I need to clean this data? What is my aim, right? Like we have some organization that they have a lot of data analysts and their job is different. So we have someone that the very first time the data comes in, the job of that person is to organize the data, right? If you're talking about data organizing, now you should know that your data will not come from one department. If you're working with big organization, data will come from the HR department, from the finance department, right? From the sales department. So it's your job as an analyst to harmonize this data together, to join it together, right? So if you are using Excel, we use a formula called VLOOKUP or XLOOKUP, or you can use index and match, right? If you are going into, let's say they ask you to work with Power Query and Power BI, then in Power Query we have something that we call merging, right? So we use merging to join data together. If you are using Power BI purely, we use something that we call lookup or related, right? There are functions in Power BI that we use to join the data together, right? If you are working with SQL, we use join, right? SQL is a bit of code, so we use join to join data together. So if you are using Python, we use merge to join data together, right? Or we also use append to join data together. Now, organizing your data so that it forms something that we call master data. Now, for those of us that are new, a master data is this type of data set that contains every aspect of each branch, right? So if you have the data from HR, you have the data from finance, you have the data from the sales, right? All your data joining together, that is what we call a master data. And it's your work as an analyst to create that master data. Do you understand? So after joining your data together, the next step is transforming your data, which we call data transformation. We also call it data cleaning, and we also call it data wrangling, right? So it's the process of transforming your data from raw data to a clean data. Now, if your data is not clean, there is no way you can get insights from that data. You won't get accurate insights from the data. Do you understand? You won't get accurate insight. So the next thing after you've joined your data together is for you to clean the data. Now, for me as an analyst, I use Power Query to clean the data, to clean my data. But there are some people that will tell you to use SQL to clean data. It's fine. It's just a piece of code, right? There's nothing hard there. There are some people that will also tell you to use Python to clean the data. That depends on whatever they want to achieve. Are you getting it? That depends on whatever they want to achieve. So they will tell you to use a particular software to clean your data. Now, I've gotten quite a lot of projects whereby the person does not even care about the software that I want to use. All they just care about is the result. So now you have the power to choose the software, right? But before you choose the software, you need to know a little bit of things. That is examining your data, organizing your data to know if this software can actually do what I want to do, right? Then after your data is clean, the nice thing is to interpret your data. Now, as an analyst, you should have it at the back of your mind that it's not all the data that you want to create visualization for. Do you understand? So how many of us know what visualization is all about? If I say, oh, I want to create a visualization of this data, how many people here know what they call visualization? Let me see. Who are the people? I'm waiting. How many people here knows what they call data visualization? If you know data visualization, just start. Okay, you don't know. All right, I'm waiting for others. Pictorial view of data. Wow, that's great. Creating like a dashboard. What is a dashboard? We have people that don't know anything. So they are new. So what is a dashboard? Don't make it complex now. I told you to calm down. Don't make it, you know you are an analyst. Fine, right? You are an analyst, fine. But don't use English to scatter our head. What is dashboard? People that don't know, right? Okay, now let's talk about visualization. Visualization is the same thing as dashboard, right? So if I tell you that I want to create a dashboard, right, that means I want to visualize our data. So what is visualization? Visualization is a graphical representation of your data, right? Is a graphical representation of your data. So whereby you put your data in charts, right? You put your data in charts. So you are putting your data in chart. So we use something that we call shapes to create the background and the environment to make it look amazing, right? So now graphical representation of your chart, of your data, is what we call a visualization, and we also call it dashboard. Now, it's not all the data that you want to create visualization for. There are some data, they just want you to clean it, right? There are some data, they just want you to generate insights from it. They don't need you to create visualization. All they just want you to do is generate insights, right? So data analysis involves a range of technique, right? A range of techniques and tools depending on the type and complexity of the data, and as well as goal of the analysis, right? So now that is basically what we do as an analyst, right? So now let's take it a bit further. Let's take it a bit further. Now let's talk about types of data analysis. Types of data analysis. Types of data analysis. Now, what are the types? We have 4 different types of data analysis, but majority of people talk about 3, right? But for me, if I'm training, I talk about the 4 types of data analysis, right? So the very first type is what we call descriptive analysis, right? Descriptive analysis. Descriptive analysis. Now, what do we call descriptive analysis? Descriptive analysis is focusing on what has happened in the past. What has happened in the past. So you are majorly focusing on what has happened in the past. You are describing historical data, right? So most of the time as an analyst, if you are just getting started, that is what you are going to be working on. And I still work on it till today. Even though as a data scientist, right, I still take projects on data analysis, right? Now, as if you are doing descriptive analysis, let me show you an example of a descriptive analysis. An example of a descriptive analysis. I recently worked on one project, like I use it to train my students, right? I use it to train my students. So, and now let me tell you something. As an analyst, right? As an analyst, if you are given a project, you are not allowed to share your project with anybody. If someone should give you a data set, right, we are not allowed to share your data, right? So now, if you're looking at this is an example of a descriptive analysis. Everything that you're seeing here has already happened in the past. So for those of us that are new, this is what we call visualization. This is what we call visualization, right? For those of us that are new, this is a visualization. Now, this is the raw data. If you look at it, this is the raw data. This is the raw data. Now, merely looking at raw data, you don't get any insight from it, right? All these things that happened in the past. This is from 2014 to 2017 data set, right? And you are able to build a descriptive analysis describing what has happened. Now you can see we were able to generate the total revenue, the total sales, the total transaction, the top 5 customers, right? So let's say in case we want to give them like a gift, something, right? So this is an example of a descriptive analysis. A descriptive analysis majorly focus more on what has happened in the past. That is historical data. Are we getting it? Now, let me go back. The next thing I want to talk about is diagnostic analysis. Diagnostic analysis. So what is diagnostic analysis? Now you've gotten insights from what has happened in the past, right? Now you want to know the reason why a certain event happened. So for instance, let's say the company's revenue is very low, right? So you want to know why is this company revenue so low? So that is what we call diagnostic analysis. Diagnostic analysis dig deeper to find out the reason behind the past outcome. This is where we write something called recommendation, right? We write something called recommendation. What we're able to learn from the data and what is the way forward. So as an analyst, we always write that. So for me, if I get the project, I used to do PowerPoint presentation slide for my own recommendation and my own insights, right? So now that is diagnostic analysis. Why a certain event happened. Do you understand? So the next thing is what we call predictive analysis. Predictive analysis. Now, if you listen to news very well, you know that there is always weather forecast, right? That's what we call a predictive analysis. Using historical data to predict what will happen in the future, right? Using historical data to predict what will happen in the future. So for instance, if you are given a data set, I'm going to show you how to do forecasting once we get to the practical section. Now, if you're given a data from 2015 to like 2022, right, and they ask you to predict for the next 5-10 years, that's an example of a predictive analysis. So we can use Excel to do it, and we can use Python to do it, right? For me, I use both Excel and Python, right? You write machine learning, just a small machine learning algorithm. It's not hard, just a small machine learning algorithm to predict what will happen in the future. Now, there is no way you will predict. So for instance, you are just meeting me for the first time, right? You don't know anything about me. You don't know how much I receive on weekly basis. You don't know how much I receive on monthly basis. And I ask you, can you predict my income for the next 2 months? Obviously, you can't, because you don't know anything about me. You don't know how many proposals I send on daily basis, right? You don't know how many projects I get on daily basis. So there is no way you'll be able to predict my future income. The same thing, that is how machine also work, right? That is how Excel work. That is how machine learning works. We need to have historical data, what has happened in the past, then we feed it to our machine learning algorithm. That is what is going to learn. So if you hear something like machine learning, right, that is how it works. You train your machine to do something for you, right? You train your machine to do something for you. For example, all this AI, artificial intelligence, right, they are built on machine learning. They are learning. So the moment you are like ChatGPT, how many of us here know ChatGPT? Let me know. How many people here know ChatGPT? If you know ChatGPT, right? You will know. We all know ChatGPT because it's our savior. It helps us a lot, right? Everybody knows ChatGPT, right? So now, ChatGPT, the moment you start typing your information, the moment you start typing question to ChatGPT. It's learning from your question, right? It is learning, though it's giving you reports, right? It's giving you a response, but it is also learning from that question you are asking. That's how it works. So ChatGPT is built on Python. You can go and search. Go and do your Google research. It's built on machine learning algorithm because it is learning for you to be able to predict the future outcome. That is predictive analysis. Now, the last one I'm going to talk about is what we call prescriptive analysis. Prescriptive analysis. So now, let's say you sell, you are selling this jotter, right? And you gave me your data, maybe your past 2 years data set, right? And I've been able to describe, generate insight from the data. Now you ask me to predict. So I've been able to predict that, okay, for instance, you used to sell 50,000 copies every year, right? Now I've been able to predict to you that, okay, in the next 2 years, you should be selling, or you are going to be selling over 100,000 pieces per year. That is like ×2, right? I've done your prediction for you. Fine. Now, what prescriptive analysis focuses on is the actionable step for you to be able to achieve what your machine has already predicted. Now, our machine has predicted, okay, in the next 2-3 years, we should be selling over 100,000 pieces or over 100,000 copies, right? Now, what should we do next? Now, we can't say because machine has already predicted for us, we want to fold our arms and keep looking. No, we need to take action. What are the actionable steps that will help me to achieve what machine has already predicted for me? That's what we call prescriptive analysis. Are we learning something before we go? Are we learning? Are we still learning something? I know so there are some people here that just want to go practical. Calm down. We will get there. I don't want you to get to that point and you'll be looking like, this is new. You did not explain all this to us, right? So we need to take it easy. We will get to practical. It's practical, right? We will get there. Calm down. Don't rush. Are we learning something? All right. Okay, if you don't have water, you can send me a DM. I have virtual water for all of you, right? So now let's talk about tools used by an analyst. Tools used by an analyst. This is where we will now go into Excel. We'll be doing a little bit of practical before we actually get into the real practical itself. Now, what are the tools used by an analyst? Right? What are the tools used by an analyst? Now, one of the most important tools that we use as an analyst is Microsoft Excel. Because on my Upwork account, there are over 100 jobs, 100 job postings that are on Excel. Just on Excel, over 100 job postings. I'm going to show you my Upwork account very soon, right? There are over 100 job postings. Now, I'm not saying other things are not there, right? Because myself, I posted on my Upwork account, I use Excel, I use Power BI, I use SQL, I use Python, I use R, I write VBA code, right? Those are the things that I have on my Upwork. But most of my projects actually come from Excel. Most of the money that I've made on Upwork and Fiverr, they are on Excel. I'm not saying all. Don't get me wrong. I said most of the money that I've made as a freelancer, right? And also as a trainer, most of my money are on Excel. Most of my money are on Excel, right? So the very first tool that I want to talk about is Microsoft Excel. And that's what we are going to focus more on in this training. So Microsoft Excel is most popular for beginners and also professionals, right? So Excel is a powerful, easy to use and perfect for data analysis. Now, if you are talking about Power BI is a visualization software and it was developed by Microsoft. That is why I love using Power BI too, right? Because I can connect my Excel directly to my Power BI. I can connect my SQL directly to my Power BI. It's so easy for me to do. And in Excel, there is something called Power Query. So you want to clean your data, you have what we call Power Query, also in Excel for data cleaning, right? You don't want to use Power Query. There are Excel formulas that can help us to clean our data. you want to remove excess space. The formula is trim. We use trim to remove excess space. If you want to do it in SQL also, it is trim. Now, if you get to Python, it's a little bit different, right? We call it strip, right? But we are focusing on Excel. We are not even going into Python, right? Now, you want to clean your data, we use the formulas. There are formulas there for us to clean our data. You want to organize your data, Excel is the best to organize data. It's so easy to use because there is a formula there. VLOOKUP, XLOOKUP, they are there. Index and match, they are there to help us organize the data, right? You want to append your data. So instead of you to be writing code in Python, all you just have to do in Excel is copy and paste, right? So in Python, we use what we call concat to join data. We use concat to join data, though there is concat formula in Excel too, right? But we use concat to append data to each other. But in Excel, it's just copy and paste. It's so easy to do, to use, right? And there are tools for visualization and analysis. That's so easy. For instance, we have pivot table, right? I'm going to show you how to use pivot table to create visualization. We have pivot table, right? We have advanced pivot table too that we call Power Pivot, but we are not going into that, right? There's also an AI in Excel that we call recommended pivots, that the moment you load your data into Excel, right, and you load it into Power Pivot table, the only thing you have to do is to click on that button and it's going to generate the data. It's going to generate the insight for you, right? It's going to generate the insight for you. Another thing is charts. There are a lot of charts. You want to use waterfall, is there. You want to use pie chart, is there. You want to use donut chart, is there. You want to use column chart, is there. You want to use bar chart, is there. You want to use map, is there. You want to use funnel, is there. You want to use different charts, they are there. Line chart, all these are there. And there are still more advanced functions. Now, you don't need coding if you just want to do analysis and visualization. Now, that doesn't mean there is no coding aspect of Excel. No, there's coding aspect of Excel, which we call VBA, Visual Basic for Application, which we use for automation, but we are not going there. That is the coding aspect of Excel, right? That is Excel. After that, we have SQL, which we use to deal with our database, right? If you order something on Jumia or Konga or Amazon, your information goes directly into what we call a database, right? It goes into a database. Now, for us to be able to interact with that database, we use SQL, right? Now, we have another thing that we call Power BI, right? We have Power BI. Now, Power BI is basically for data visualization and business intelligence too. So if you come to me that you want to learn business analysis, the very first thing that I will ask you is, do you have any knowledge of Power BI? Because it's one of the tools that we also use in business analysis. It's one of the tools that we also use in business analysis, right? Apart from that, it's one of the best things that I always love to use, which is Python. Apart from Excel, I love using Python, right? So with Python, like pandas, matplotlib, scikit-learn, which we use to write our machine learning, right? All those things are there for us to do a whole lot of stuff, right? Can you show an example of Power BI? Let me see if I have that here. What is this? The name of this thing? Greenville something. All right. So, but while Power BI is coming up, let's move forward to the next thing. Which we call now. Let's go into Microsoft Excel. I'm coming. So Power BI is coming up. I just want to show you an example of Power BI. So now I just opened my Power BI. I just want to show you a project on Power BI. But for those of us that don't know Power BI. Now Power BI is a visualization tool. So it's coming up, but let's go into Microsoft Excel before Power BI comes up, right? So what exactly is Microsoft Excel? What is Microsoft Excel? What is Microsoft Excel? What is Microsoft Excel, right? So Microsoft Excel is a spreadsheet program. So I'm going to open my Microsoft Excel. I don't know. So I'm going to open my Microsoft Excel, right? So now, for those of us that are asking about Power BI, this is what Power BI looks like, right? This is what Power BI looks like. This is Power BI. This is Power BI for those of us that are asking. So it's still coming up. I don't know why it's so slow. Maybe because I'm running a whole lot of stuff. So I'm going to open my Excel right now. Now you can see this. This is Power BI, right? This is a project I did on Power BI, and I'm not going to show you, but this is a visualization that was built on Power BI. This is it. It's loading. Now, for those of us that are new, this is what we call Power BI, but we don't actually need to stress ourselves on this because we are actually not going into this today, right? Because of our time. So this Power BI, this is what it looks like. And if you look at it, this is where we build our visualization. These are our data, right? So I'm going to close it. For those, let's go into Excel. We want to focus only on Excel. We're just talking about it. All right, let's go into Microsoft Excel. What exactly is Microsoft Excel? What is Microsoft Excel? So Microsoft Excel is a spreadsheet program used to record and analyze numerical and statistical data. So Microsoft Excel is a spreadsheet program that we use to record and analyze numerical and statistical data. Now, why do we call it spreadsheet? So you can either call it spreadsheet or you call it worksheet, right? You can either call it spreadsheet or you call it worksheet. Now, why do we call it spreadsheet? Now, you know, if you are working with Microsoft Word, we make use of docs, right? That is documents, pages, right? So if you are working with PowerPoint, like what you can see on your screen now, we make use of slide. So this thing that you see here, it is called slide, right? Now, if you go to Excel, this is Excel. We make use of sheet. If you look at it, we use sheet, right? We use sheet. That is why we call it spreadsheet or worksheet, right? So now let's continue. Let's continue with this. Now, Microsoft Excel provides multiple features to perform various operations like calculation. You want to do your calculation, Excel is there to help. Let's go into Excel. So you want to do basic calculation like 2 plus 2 is just going to be, so whenever you want to start calculation with Excel, all you just have to do is say equals to 2 plus 2. And this will do the calculation for you, right? You want to get today's date, right? You want to get today's date. I'll just say equals to today, right? Equals to today. And this will give me today's date, right? You want to get today's date and time. You just say equals to now, right? That will give us both the date and the time. Now, there are a whole lot of formulas here in Excel that we use. And Excel helps us to do a whole lot of things, right? Apart from calculation, we also use pivot table in Excel. We have the graph and we have macro programming, which we use to do automation, right? Which we use to do automation. I'm still going to show you that. An Excel spreadsheet can be understood as a collection of columns and rows that form a table, right? Alphabetical letters are usually assigned to columns and numbers are for the rows. And the point where row and column meet is called a cell. So the address of a cell is given by letter representing the column and numbers representing the row, right? So maybe you did not get the formula. Just Odunayo, just jot it down. When we get the question and answer, I will answer that your question. I don't know why it's not showing. Probably you did not write the formula very well. All right, so now let's go here. Let's talk about this. I said Excel can be understood as a collection of columns and rows that forms a table. Alphabetical letters are usually assigned to columns, while numbers are for the row. Then the point where row and column meet is called a cell. And the address of a cell is given by letter representing the column and numbers representing the row. Now, for those of us that are new, let's come back here. This is Microsoft Excel, right? And in Microsoft Excel, we have what we call the columns and the rows. So remember I said alphabetical letters are for what? They are for columns, right? Alphabetical letters are for the columns. So here I have columns. So this is column A, this is column B, this is column C, this is column D. And we have the rows. This is row 1, this is row 2, this is row 3, this is row 4. There are over 1 million rows, right? As a matter of fact, if you scroll to the end of Excel, Excel stops here. A sheet, one spreadsheet, stop at 1,048,576 rows, which means just one spreadsheet can take 1,048,576 data sets. Do you understand? Just one sheet. And you can open as many sheets as possible. So if you click on this plus, it's going to open another sheet for you. Click on this plus, it's going to open another sheet for you. Right? Now let's talk about the box that we see here. Now you can see there are boxes everywhere. Right? So this box is called a cell. It's called a cell. So a cell is the intersection of rows and column. That's where both row and column meet. Right? A cell is the intersection of rows and column. That's where both row and column meet. So how do we reference a cell? Right? How do we reference a cell? How do we reference a cell? Now, if you look at the column here, we have the column and we have the row. This is where they both meet. Column A and row 1. This is where they both meet, right? So if you want to reference this cell, we said we will call it cell A1 because I'm in column A, row 1. So we call this place cell A1, right? So if you move to this place, this is B, row 3, right? So for those of us that are new, we call this cell B3. I'm in column B, row 3. And you can actually see it right here. So we call this place the name box, right? So you can see it here. Here, we call this place the formula bar. This is the formula bar. So if you write any formula, like today now, if I write today formula, right, press enter, on my cell, I'm going to see the date. But in the formula bar, I'm going to see the formulas right here. Do you understand? I'm going to see the formulas right here. So now, who can guess? Which cell am I now? Let me see. Which cell am I? For those of us that are saying we should go into practical. If I give you an assignment, I used to give a lot of assignment too. If I give you an assignment, will you do my assignment? If you don't do my assignment, you will see me in your house. Is it that you remove my teeth? I will remove your teeth. I remove 2 or 3. You just see me in your house. We'll turn to Anthony Joshua, right? So we'll be boxing each other. You will remove it. Okay, let's see. Don't worry, I'm coming to your house tomorrow. Okay, now, nice one. That shows we are still here. So we are in cell D3. Okay, we are in cell D8, rather, D8, right? Because I'm in column D, row 8. Oh yeah, clap for yourself. Clap for yourself now. You're an analyst. Clap for yourself. Do you want me to come and bust your head or bust your teeth? You better clap for yourself now. No, but you don't want to clap. Don't worry, you are going to see me in your house now. For those of you that are not clapping, you are going to see me in your house now. Be expecting me. Oh. Okay. You are scared. Okay, now you are clapping. That is great. That's great. Well done. Nice one. You don't have to be scared. Don't worry. Okay. Now, let's move forward to businesses that use, right, Microsoft Excel. Companies that use Microsoft Excel. One of those big companies is Amazon, right? Amazon. That's because I have 2 of my students working with them. Amazon, right? The only thing that links us together is Excel. If they have any issue with Excel, they'll come down to me, right? So Amazon use Microsoft Excel for quality analysis, data analysis, and junior data analysis, right? So we have another one called Signal. Now, this Signal, I don't have anybody working with them, right? I'm not zooming in. You should be the one to zoom out your screen. Do you understand? You should be the one to zoom out your screen. Now, this Signal, I don't have any student working with them, but I've gotten a project from them before, like 2 projects from them before, from a staff that works with them, right? I've gotten a project from a staff that works with them on this, right? So though the project is not on data analysis, I got it on business analysis, right? So, but I know Signal, they use Microsoft Excel, right? Another one is this Deloitte. I have two female students that work with Deloitte. Two female students that work with Deloitte. Not that I've seen them physically, it's online, right? I train them online. They are not in Nigeria, so I train them online. Do you understand? So they work with Deloitte. So I know that Deloitte work with Excel, right? Because that's one of those things that links us together is Microsoft Excel, right? Another thing is this Intel, right? We have JP Morgan, right? We have Microsoft itself, right? If Microsoft should develop Excel, what do you think they are going to be using? They're going to be using Excel, right? So we have Morgan Stanley, we have PayPal, we have Tesla, and we have United States Bank. And most of, in fact, if not all of the Nigerian banks are using, if not all, maybe few. Almost all of them, almost all the banks in Nigeria are using Excel because I've been to most of them to help them do one or two things on Microsoft Excel, right? So let's move forward to the next thing. Now, for those of us that are just starting, these are the basic key terminologies you need to know, right? So if you want to be good with Excel, you need to know these basic terminologies that I'm about to list. You need to know them, right? So are we still here? Are we learning something? Let me know if you are learning something. Are you all still here? Let me know. If you are sleeping, I will pour you virtual water. I'll pour virtual water on your head. And I'll just pour, you just see me, I'll just pour virtual water on your head. It's just like pouring holy water. If you are sleeping, you should wake up. Oh. Okay. Now let's talk about the basic terminologies in Microsoft Excel. Let's talk about the basic terminologies in Microsoft Excel. One of the basic terminology is cell, right? And we've spoken about the cell, right? So a cell is the building block of Microsoft Excel. A cell is the building block of Microsoft Excel. So it's the intersection between the row and column, right? So that is a cell. Now, we have what we call a range. So let me go back to my Excel. If I select one cell like this, we call it a cell. But by the time it becomes 2, 3, 4, and more, it becomes a range or an array. Do you understand? It becomes what? A range or an array. It becomes a range or an array. So a group of cells or a collection of cells is called what? A range or an array. So if you have a group of cells, it's called a range or an array. Okay, let's move forward to the next thing. Apart from range, we have what we call a worksheet or a spreadsheet. A worksheet or a spreadsheet. Now, if you look at this, this is where Excel stores our formulas, our text, our numbers, right? This is where Excel stores them. It stores it inside of a worksheet or a spreadsheet. So, for instance, if I want to store two things here, let's say I want to store 33, 35, and here I want to store 47, right? So here now, I want, no, because this cell, now, for those of us that are saying you know Excel, now, what do you think happens now? I wrote 46 here. Now, it's telling me 15, 12, 1900. What do you think happens? For those of us that said Excel, that knows Excel very well, we have professionals here. What do you think happened? And as an analyst, you are going to face this type of problem. Yes, the column is formatted as date. If you remember, I wrote a date here. This is where I wrote the formula, right? So this is where I wrote a date formula. And to Excel, the moment you write something, it tries to change the data type. So we have something that we call data type, right? So in Excel, we use two major data types, a text and which we call a string, right? We call it a string. A string is a text. So for instance, if I write Akim here now, Excel will store it as a string, as a text, right? Excel will store it as a string, or you can call it a text. Now, if you notice, if you've been working Excel, you will always notice that a text is always aligned to the left, right? Now, if I write a number here, 46, now you notice Excel automatically move it to the right, right? It moves it to the right. So Excel is trying to arrange the data type to make sure that it's formatted correctly. So a text is aligned to the left, a number is aligned to the right. Do you understand? A text is aligned to the left, a number is aligned to the right. So now, if you are, this is one of the things we always face as an analyst. You will be in a situation whereby a number that is supposed to be at the right is now at the left. That means Excel does not understand the data type. Do you understand? So that is one of the things we do when we are cleaning data. Data type, handling data types, right? So if you see a number that is supposed to align to the right, but it's aligned to the left, so you know that Excel does not recognize this as a number. So you need to change the data type from text to number. So, but we are not there yet. So now what I'll just do here is to change it from date to number, right? From date to number. From date to number, right? So now, if I want to write the formula here, I'll just say equals to sum. I want to sum these two together. Sum these two together for me. Press enter. And this is going to give me the total. Now, this is where Excel stores this information. So if I should save this spreadsheet now, right? And I come back here tomorrow to this same spreadsheet, I'm still going to see it here, right? So a spreadsheet is where Excel stores your text, your number, your formulas, everything, your wildcard too, right? Your regular expression. That is where Excel stores it, right? That is where Excel stores it. It stores it in here in a spreadsheet. Which part? Odunayo, if you can jot it down, when I get to the question and answer section, I will allow you to unmute so that I will answer all your questions. All right. So the next thing is what we call a workbook. A workbook can contain as many spreadsheets as possible, right? A workbook can contain as many spreadsheets as possible. So for instance, if I open something now, let me just open one Excel spreadsheet. You see I have a lot of Excel spreadsheets and Power BI, and my Python is not always saved there. My Python and R is not always saved there. Now, if you look at this now, all these things that I see here, they are what we call spreadsheets. And like you can see, I have dashboard here, which means I'm trying to build a report, right? So now you can see a workbook can contain as many spreadsheets as possible. So we can call it a workbook, or you call it an Excel file. Do you understand? You can call it a workbook or an Excel file. Now, we have another thing that we call a ribbon. We have another thing that we call a ribbon. So a ribbon is the graphical menu interface for commands we perform. Now, we have tools that we work with in Excel. The tools that we work with in Excel, they are called the ribbons. So if you look at all these things up here, they are called the ribbons. And we have what we call the tabs, like the Home tab, the Insert tab, the Page Layout tab. Each of these tabs, they have their own ribbons, right? Under the Home tab, you have copy, cut, format painter, and paste, right? You have bold, italic, underline, and border, background color, text color, a lot of things, alignment, right? Changing data types, right? So now, if you want to make this number bold, so all you just have to do is click on this bold, this B, or use a keyboard shortcut, Ctrl B, to make it bold, right? So once you click on it, it's going to bolden it. If you want to make it italic, it's going to be a little bit slant, right? So we call them ribbons. We call them what? Ribbons. Apart from that, we have what we call a function. Function. Now, remember that I used some formula earlier, right? I used some formulas earlier. Now, a formula, the group of formula that perform similar functions, they are called that perform similar tasks, they are called a function, right? A group of formula that perform similar tasks are called what? A function. So if you go to your formula tab here, this is where we have function library. Now, we have the financial function, which contains finance formulas, right? It contains finance formulas. We have the logical function, which contains the logical formula. So for instance, we have, let me just do an example of a logical formula for you. So for instance, let's say this is your score. right? And I want to write pass or fail for you, right? So if your score is 50, that is pass. If you score less than 50, that is fail. We use what we call a logical formula. So which is if. So I can say equals to if, right? If this cell is greater than or equals to 50, then in double quotes, write pass for them if that condition is true. Else, if the condition is false, write fail. I'm using Python library for you. Sorry for that. So if the formula is, if the logic is wrong, write fail. So if I press enter now, you will see this is fail, right? Now if I should change this to, let's say 70, you'll see it becomes pass. And we can write more advanced logical formulas, right? Whereby we can write a formula that will do grading system for us. We can write a formula that will do a whole lot of other things for us, right? Now, note that a group of formulas that perform similar tasks, they are what we call what? They are what we call what? They are what we call what? What do we call it? What do we call them? A group of formulas that perform similar tasks. What do you call them? Wake up, wake up, wake up. Don't sleep. Function. Yes, we call them function. We call them function. Right? So we are getting a little bit serious. Let's play. Let's play. Let me get into my training spirit. Calm down, calm down, calm down. Let's play a bit. Then let us get to serious. Right? We are learning. I don't want to give people headache. Right? So let's move forward to, let's go a little bit into advanced Excel. Let's go a little bit into advanced Excel. Are you ready now? Are you ready to go into advanced Excel? A little bit. All those ones that we spoke about, they are basic. Now, are you ready? Okay, that's great. Hope you are learning something. Hope you are learning something. Are you learning something? Are you learning? And are you enjoying yourself? If you are enjoying yourself, just type interesting. I should slow down. Okay. If you are enjoying this webinar, just write interesting. Or you think we should add music? Maybe we should add some music and shake your body. Shake your body, shake your body. I don't know how to dance. Maybe one of you will teach me. Okay. All right. Don't worry. Very soon, I will invite you. Then you teach me how to shake body. I'm always busy. I'm always working, right? So, but don't worry, one day, right? The only time I go out is, the only thing that takes me outside of my house is either I'm going to the office or is money. If it's not money, I ain't going nowhere. I'm not going anywhere. I'll do my work at home. Sorry for that. Okay, let's move forward now. Let's move forward into advanced Excel. Right. If you're going into advanced Excel, we have something that we call a table. A table, right? A table is a container for your data. Now, a table shows relationship between your data. A table tells Excel that, okay, all these data are related. So if you put something inside of a sheet like this, I type in Akim here, and I type in my second name. Who is feeling sleepy? Don't try it, though. Don't try it, though. So I write Akim here, and I write this is Abiodun, right? That's my name, Akim Abiodun, right? Now to Excel, each cell are different. This cell is different from this cell, and it's also different from this cell. So no matter the data you put into a cell, Excel sees them separately, differently, right? But the moment you put your data in a table, you are basically telling Excel that, okay, these data, they are related, right? They are related. They are the same thing. They are similar, right? That is the function of a table. That is what the function of a table. So the moment you put your data in a table, now Excel sees them as a relational data set, right? A data that is related. So now basically what I said is, I said a table shows relationship between your data. You are back, Justice. Well done, well done, well done. You have light now, Abby. Okay. So now what I said was, a table shows relationship between our data. It just tells Excel that, okay, all these data are related. That is the function. How do we insert a table? We are going to do it in practical, right, when we get to the practical section. But if you go to insert, you will see a table here. And we also use a keyboard shortcode, Control-T. But I don't want to do it with just 2 cells. When we insert a large data set, I'm going to show you, right? That is one thing you should know. Another thing is what we call a pivot table. We are also going to use pivot table today. A pivot table is what we use to summarize and analyze our data, right? So we are going to use it and you are going to see how it works when we get to the practical. So it helps us to summarize and analyze our data. That is what we call a pivot table. So it's one of the things that you need to know. You must know it. It's a must. You must know it, right? You must know it. A pivot table is very, very important for you as an analyst. If not, the data set that you're supposed to work with in 5 minutes, you might be spending 30, 45, 1 hour. And if you're a freelancer like me, you have a time frame to submit, right? You have a time frame to submit the project. So if you don't know pivot table, you will be spending a whole lot of time. But the moment you know pivot table, it makes your work very, very easy. And we are going to use it today. Now, another thing is what we call Power Query. Power Query. So Power Query is an ETL software. So what do we mean by ETL? It extracts, transform, and load our data. So it extracts the data from the source. Transforming, that is what we mean by cleaning. That is data transformation. So basically, we use Power Query to clean our data, right? So we use Power Query for data cleaning. And after we are done cleaning, we either load it into Excel or we load it into Power BI. Do you understand? So that is what Power Query is used for. It's used for data cleaning, right? Now, for those of you that are asking for this slide, at the end of the webinar, I'll tell you where to download the slide, right? And how to get the slide and every other thing. Now, another thing is what we call the VBA and macros. Now, you actually don't need to get to this aspect, but I just want to talk about it. VBA stands for Visual Basic for Application. VBA is what we use for automation. Now, let me show you one project. I'm not going to show you the full information. But if you have your own Excel, you notice that you don't have this CGPA calculator, right? If you look at your Excel now, you will notice that there's nothing like CGPA calculator, right? Now, this CGPA calculator is a project that I got for a company, for a school in Canada. And what is this thing going to do for them? It's going to help them, is a university, it's going to help them calculate their first semester, the second semester, the third semester, the final semester, calculate their CGPA, and generate the CGPA to the transcript to Microsoft Word. Now, what I did here is I used VBA to do the automation for them. Before, they always do it manually. But all they just have to do now is load the data into Excel, and the moment they click on first semester, it's going to do it for them. Now, let me enable it. Now, you can see the data is not there, right? The data set is not there. Now, the moment they click on first semester, it's going to like calculate the first semester for them, second semester, third semester, and everything. Now, it's going to generate the transcript to Microsoft Word for them. Now, which means I connected Excel to Microsoft Word. So the moment it's calculated everything, then it's going to generate the transcript to Microsoft Word. Now, this is what we call VBA, Visual Basic for Application. Now, it's a coding aspect, right? It's a code. Now, let me show you an example of it. Although I'm not going to show you a little bit about it. This is the CGPA calculator template that I used. Now you can see. Now, if I go back to this developer, then I come to macros, right? Then I just click on edit. Now, you can see this is the coding aspect of Excel. This is the coding aspect of Excel, right? This is the code that's behind those things that you see there, right? So it's going to calculate it for you. This is what we call VBA, Visual Basic for Application. right? So we basically use it for automation. I've done quite a lot of them. There was one I did for my company, Digital World, which is just to do transfer from one place to another, right? So we use and generate insights, right? We use VBA. A VBA is done. So if I click on developer, all you just have to do is click on Visual Basic. And let's say I want to develop a module. So I'll just come here and develop a module. Then this is where I will write all my code, right, for automation. But we are not writing code today because we are just starting with Excel, right? And you want us to write code? Do you want us to write code? VBA has been with Excel since now. It's not a new thing. It has been since, not today. All right. We are not writing code. Don't worry, don't worry. Now that is about Excel. We've spoken about the basic and advanced, but we've actually not used it in practical. Now, should I go into this? Let's talk about how can I make money with my new Excel skill. Now you have some basic understanding of Excel. How can you now make money with it? Should we talk about it or we should be going home now? Should we talk about it or we should be going home? Nobody is talking. We should be going home, right? I'm waiting. I want to know if you are interested in this. If not, let's be going home. Huh? I'm waiting for you people to talk. My people, are you still here? Should we talk about it or we should be going home? You are not saying anything. Huh? Let's talk now. Are you here? We should talk about it. We should talk about it. Okay. Now let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about making money with your Microsoft Excel skill. Now, how do I make money with my Excel skill? There are 3 ways that I use to make money, but currently now I use 2, right? I'm using 2. Currently now I'm using 2. Now I'm going to show you the 3 ways that I use to make money with my Excel skill. Now, let's talk. You've just unlocked one of the most important digital skill out there, right? Microsoft Excel, this isn't just for office work. Most people always think, okay, once they learn Excel, they want to go and get corporate work, right? I've resigned since I don't work with organization again. I do my thing myself. I do my thing my own way. I can say that I'm going out tomorrow. I can say that I want to be at home. If I'm at home, I'll make my money. If I go to the office, I'll make my money, right? So I can be at home and be working as a freelancer. I can go to the office to trade, or I can be at home and be training, right? So how do I make money with my Microsoft Excel skill? The very first thing that I use is a freelancing, which has given me a whole lot of money. Apart from my business generating income, right? Apart from that, apart from my business generating income, I use freelancing to generate income for my personal self, not business now, for my own self. Now, what are the popular freelancing sites I use? I use Upwork and Fiverr. Now, I have people that use freelancer.com. I have some people that use freelancer.com and they are doing good, right? People per hour, they are doing well. But for me, I use Upwork and Fiverr. I've never used freelancer.com or people per hour, but I've seen people, I have some people that use it. But for me, I've not used it before. So I'm going to talk about these 2 that I've used myself. Now, let me go into my Upwork account. Now, this is Fiverr. I'm not going to log into my Fiverr account, but this is my Upwork account. Now, this is my Upwork account. Now, let me go to my own. You can see my availability badge is off, right? It's currently off. But let me come here now to my profile so that you see. I charge $15 per hour, right? No, I'm not a woman. I'm a robot. They are going to ask me that silly question now. Okay, do fast, Jerry, answer me. All right. Verify you are a human. No, I'm a robot. Okay, now let's come here. If you look at this, please, I didn't have premium website. If you look at this now, you can see what I do here, right? This is my account, Akim, right? Akim Abiodun, that is the A. Now, if you look at this, I'm a data analyst, expert in Excel, VBA, Power BI, SQL, and Python. Those are the ones that I focus more on. I write R code, right? I write R. In fact, I have R Studio that I used to write R, but I don't really write it much like that, right? Except if I have a request that, okay, they want me to work on that project using R. That is when I will only write my R code. I know how to write R code. But here, I'm not just basically focusing on that. And here, I charge per hour. I charge $15 per hour. That is the amount that I charge, right? That is the amount that I charge. And you can see some basic information, monthly value for your money. Let me help you. This is just a little bit of information. And now they've given me the opportunity to create a consultation, right? I was part of their Rising Talent right here. Okay, still there. I'm part of their Rising Talent right here, right? So Rising Talent shows strong potential based on their profile and early success on Upwork, right? So I'm part of Upwork Rising Talent. As you can see, it's right here. So now, but that's not what we want to talk about. I don't want to go to my proposal and offer. Let's go into find work. Let's see work on them. Now, I know a lot of people have been complaining. I learned, but I did not get work. I did not get things. Now, you can see here, if you should have this account, right? If you should have this account, this person posted this job 15 minutes ago, and this is estimated $40. What do they want you to do? Simple data modeling and data analysis student project. This is just a student project. I'm going to actually save this job to apply for it later. Where is the save? Save this job to apply for it later. I'm coming back to apply. I don't have anything that I'm doing. I finished all my projects. So I'm currently less busy, right? So now, if you look at this person is this is a student project, right? You can say I have 6 saved projects right here. Now, this person is budgeting $40, right? $40, and this job was posted 50 minutes ago. 50 minutes ago. Now, if you scroll down, and this project analyze a small amount of data and few graphs related to business problem, and based on that, answer 10 questions. 2, provide a brief executive summary, suggest you are done. Within 1 hour, you should be done with this, and you will get your $40. Within 1 hour, you should be done with this. Because this is basic thing. I'm going to show you how to create a chart, right? Because that is what they want you to do here. Analyze, generate insight from the data, and create a chart, right? That's what they want you to do here. Now, one thing that I always look out for is this payment verified, right? If you are using Upwork, people that like this one, people that their payments are unverified, don't apply for their gigs. Don't apply. I always tell my students, if you apply for these people, this person has not spent anything, which is $0. And this person's payment is unverified, which means this person cannot make payment to you if you are done. Once you are done, this person cannot make payment to you because the payment is unverified. So you shouldn't apply for this type of project. Now, let's move down. That Excel dashboard creation for music school. This is another one. I'm going to set this and come back for it. We are looking for a talented freelancer to create. Now, this one was posted 18 hours ago. And this person is just ready to spend $10. So which means it's just to create a visualization for this. Just to create a visualization. Just basic visualization. Is nothing more because the money is small. Just $10. The money is small, right? But if you look at this person, the payment is verified, right? And this person has spent over $2,000 on Upwork. This person is in Australia. You can see, right? Let's go again. This is another thing, spreadsheet development, right? This is just to develop spreadsheet for data management. I'm looking for someone to help build a multi-spreadsheet workbook, right? What about the proposal? Yes, you write the proposal, right? How do you write proposal? The moment you apply for it, right, you are going to write the proposal when you apply. You are the one that will write your proposal and submit it, right? You write your proposal and submit. But I'm not applying for this, right? So now, can we have more than one on Upwork? I don't advise that. I don't advise that, right? I don't advise you to have more than one account on Upwork because Upwork is very, very strict. So another thing is to create a Power BI dashboard, right? And this person is ready to spend $20 to $40 per hour. So I can apply for this type of project, right? I apply for this type of project. So I'm going to save it. I'm going to save it for later to come back after the webinar and apply. For me, I send as like 5 or 10 project proposal on daily basis. And here, if you search, you can see a whole lot of projects here, a whole lot of projects. Let's say because you are a beginner, right? Because you are a beginner, what you want to search for is data entry. Just come here, you can say search for data entry, WordPress, landing page. Those are what I do. But let's do data entry now. If you are a beginner, you want to search for data entry. You want to search for data entry, right? So now, if you look at this, they can pay into your Nigeria account. Don't worry, we are going to talk about that one later. Now, if you look at this, all this one, you can say, okay, you want entry-level job, right? Entry-level job. Now, you can look at it, simple online data entry. But be very, very careful. Don't say because this job is very, very simple and it is a remote work, it's going to last for 1 to 3 months, right? But the payment is unverified. So we are not going to apply for this type of project, right? Another thing is, if you look at it, this is a data entry, and this person has spent a lot of money here. Need to input data to website. Very easy, I will explain the process. So this is less than 1 month, and this person is ready to spend 3 to 5 hours on daily basis, right, per hour. So this data entry is, it helps you to, don't worry, I'm going to explain it later. This type of entry job level help you to build your portfolio. It helps you to build your credibility, right? Because the moment you start doing 2-3 projects, you are going to be getting invites, right? You are going to be getting invites. The moment you start doing 2-3, so if you are just getting started, I don't advise you to start looking for $100 job, $200 job. No, it's not advisable. Yes, we all start from here. In fact, I've taken a project of $5 before, right? I recently increased my own hourly rate from $10 to $15 hourly rates, right? So it's not, if you are just getting started, it's advisable for you to just start on the basic level. $3 to $5 per hour is not so bad, right? But for me, I cannot do it, right? But it's not so bad to start with. It helps you to build your credibility and portfolio. Now, same thing on Fiverr. Same thing on Fiverr. So if you search for data entry on Fiverr, right? Data entry job on Fiverr, you are going to see a whole lot of them, right? And you can see this person is charging how much? $25 per hour just on Fiverr, right? And this person has gotten over 93 jobs, right? Over 93 jobs. So now, if you look at it, a whole lot of things right here, right? There are a lot of things right here. Now, what are the things that you also need? You will need to create a portfolio. Now, I have my own portfolio handy. So in case anybody requests for my own portfolio, is here. I'll just click on it, come and copy my portfolio link. You will need to have a portfolio. That is what we talk about, your past project. The project that you've worked on in the past, because people will ask. They will ask. Before you can get a project, you need to have a portfolio. They want to see your past work, right? They want to see what you've done in the past. So they will be able to, that is what they will be able to use to know if you are qualified or you are not qualified. Or you are not qualified. That is on freelancing. Though there are still more things in freelancing that we won't be able to cover today, right? But let's go. Apart from freelancing, what else have I used to make money? I've sold templates online before, but I don't do it again. I don't sell templates again, right? Because it's kind of a little bit stressful now, because there are a lot of competitions there, right? So I don't do it again. I don't sell templates again. So you sell Excel templates. And how do you get these Excel templates? If you go to Excel, there are a lot of templates. If you go to File and you go to New right here, you can see there are a lot of templates. And one of the most request templates is this budget. These budgets. I use GitHub for my own portfolio, right? Is this budget template? I sold a lot of these budget templates before, right? But I don't do it again. All these templates, the only thing that you need to do is pick it and change it to your own. Then you can sell it, right? So there are platforms like Gumroad that I use. Gumroad, Ecstasy, right? So I use Gumroad. You can use Ecstasy, you can use Sellfile, or you can own your Shopify or WordPress site. But I actually don't advise you to do this because you will need to build a whole website for that. So it's not advisable. So there are pre-made websites for you to do that. But for me, I used Gumroad before, but now I don't use it again because I don't sell templates. Now, another thing that I always do, I'm still doing it till now, and I'm still going to keep on doing it, is teaching online. Teaching online. There are a whole lot of money in training, right? If you are going for my batch training, I don't charge much. But if you are coming for my one-on-one training, you want me to train you personally, right? I charge as low as 150,000 to 300,000 just to train you for the next 6 weeks. Or now it depends on the cost. If you are coming for data science, where I'm going to take you for the whole of 3 months, Python Essential, NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, Seaborn, Scikit-learn, right? I'm going to take you for 3 months. I charge 450,000 for my own one-on-one class, premium class. People are paying to learn this skill, right? They are paying to learn this skill. Now, for instance, let's say you can't come out just like the same way I'm doing, right? You can't train online. What can you do? You can record a course. That was what I started with first. I recorded a course and I was selling it because I know how to run Facebook ads. So I recorded that course and I was selling it to people on Facebook, running Facebook and Instagram ads. I was selling it. Now, there is a platform called Udemy and Coursera. There's Skillshare. Now, if you go to those places and you buy a course, those courses that you purchase, is it not people that record and sell it there? Right? There are people. So what will it take you to also sit down and record? What do you use to record? We use Zoom. You can record using Zoom, or you can use OBS Studio. Now, I use OBS Studio for my own recording. OBS Studio, right? To record your own course and edit it. I recorded the whole of Excel course. I call the Ultimate Excel course, right? I recorded it in 3 weeks. It took me 3 weeks to record it, and I edited it for 1 week, and I started selling it, right? I started selling it. The very first time that I roll out that campaign, it made it, I have over 10 people bought on that same day, right? Just selling Excel course. Now I have Power BI course, I have SQL course, I have Python course. Now I don't even need to train again. Those courses are the thing that I sell on the side. Now, if you come to me directly that, okay, you want me to train you one-on-one, that is another way, right? That is another money. But if you purchase my course, I'm going to give it to you. You go through it, then you have my direct contact. If you have any issue, just message me, then I'll answer you there. You too can do this. You too can do this. All right. Now, let's leave monetization. Let's go into practical. Let's do a bit of practical. Are you ready for the practical? How many of you are still enjoying this training? Are you seeing something? Are you learning something? Are you learning? Are you learning? Are you learning something? Right? Let me see if my Upwork now. I don't know why this Upwork is taking too long. I said Upwork. GitHub rather. Right? Now let me go to my repositories. All right, so you can see this is Akim Abiodun. Now you can see these are some of the projects that I've uploaded. I have Python project, I have VBA project, I have R project here, right? You can see this is R, this is VBA that I do. Now, if you just want to request for my portfolio, maybe you want to give me a project and you want to see some of the projects that I've worked on, all I just have to do is copy my portfolio link and send it to you. Then it's going to bring you here. All you just have to do is you can go through it, right? And say, okay, this person actually worked on this project, right? Let me click on this one. Now you can see it's going to give a lot of information about the thing, right? So let's go into the practical. So now there are 2 major things that people are paying for online as a freelancer that I've gotten a whole lot of money from as a freelancer. Now, number 1 is forecasting. So how do I do my forecasting? Let me just open this data set. How do I do my forecasting? How do we forecast in Excel? How do we forecast? What if I don't have portfolio? Don't worry, we are going to get the portfolio. It's not so hard. That's not the problem. It's not so hard. We are going to talk about that in the question and answer section. Now, GitHub is different from LinkedIn. GitHub is different from LinkedIn. Just down your question. When we get to the question and answer section, I'm going to answer all your questions. Do you understand? I use LinkedIn for another thing, for follow-up. So, for instance, if I send you a proposal, right, and you did not respond to me on time, I will go and look for your name. Then I will search for you on LinkedIn, send you the proposal again on LinkedIn. I used to be very, very serious with my freelancing, and I'm still serious till now, right? If I send you a proposal and you did not respond on time, I'm going to go to your LinkedIn account. You are going to meet me in your LinkedIn. I will send you a LinkedIn. I will send you the proposal on your LinkedIn. I'm using a premium account on LinkedIn, right? I'm going to send you a proposal on LinkedIn. I'm also going to send you, I'll look for your social media. On your LinkedIn, you will definitely put those information there. I'll search for your social media, right? Then message you on social media. Then you are going to see me liking your content. I will send you email. You don't know me. If you want to make money online, you have to be very, very intentional about it. You have to be ready to make it. You have to do a lot of sacrifice, right? And for me to send you a proposal, it takes me 30 minutes to write, 30 to 45 minutes to write a proposal, right? I don't just go to ChatGPT. I know a lot of people actually want to make money. Then all they just do is go to ChatGPT. ChatGPT will generate the proposal. They'll just copy and paste it. Within 5 minutes, they are done, right? But that's not that. When we get to that question and answer section, I will answer it. So now one of the projects I've received most money on is forecasting, right? And how do we forecast? Now, this is a data set, right? This is just a dummy data set. So if you're a trainer, you should know that you need to have a lot of dummy data sets, right? You can download them on Kaggle. There are a lot of dummy data sets that you can use to train on Kaggle, right? So you don't use your client's data to train. Do you understand? Now, if you look at this, right? So this is a company sales, right? In millions. This is what on 30th of April, right? 2012. This is the amount they generated. So I think they do it by quarterly, right? So they get their total sales for the first quarter in April, then for the second quarter in July, right? This is 7. Another one is another quarter in October, right? Another quarter in January. So now they've given me this data from 2012 to 2014, for instance, to 2021. And now they ask me to forecast 2021 to 2025. That's from 2021 to, let's say, 2026. That's what they asked me to do. The very first thing is to highlight my data set. Highlight it. Now, it's so easy to do in Excel. Remember when I was talking about predictive analysis, you need to have historical data sets, right? So this is the historical data set. So this is what we want to feed to Excel for it to be able to forecast for us. So we have 2014 to 2021 data set, right? Is it 2014 or 2012 data set, right? I said Kaggle. Don't worry, I'll show you in the question once I'm done with the practical, right? Now, after that, after I've highlighted my data, all I just have to do is go to data, right? Now we have forecast sheets. Now there are formulas for forecasting, right? There are formulas we use for forecasting, but we are not talking about that formula today because it's going to take our time. But I use this forecast sheet. It's very easy. All I just have to do is click on forecast sheets, right? It's going to give me this chart. And here, I need to put when I want the forecast to end. So I want the forecast to end in 31st of October, right? So 31st of October, they said the forecast will end in 2026. So I'll put 2026 here. That's that. Though there are still more advanced things to do right here, but because of our time, we won't be able to be going into it one by one, right? Like this filling missing point, which is interpolation and zeros. We are going to talk about it's still another thing. Like this aggregation duplicate using, right? Most of the time you can use sum or average, but we are not talking about that. Let's go with this default. So all I just have to do is click on create, right? Click on create. So once you click on create, so someone asks, where did I click, right? So the moment you highlight your data, come to your data tab, then click on forecast sheet, right? Now, if I come here now and say, okay, I need the data, I need the forecast to end in 2026, October 31st, 2026. That is where I want my data to, my forecast to end. So all I just have to do is click on create. And if you look at it, automatically, Excel will create it for me, right? Yes, and no, I'm just explaining it. Just watch me. If you have any question, I'm going to answer your question. Now, if you look at it, this is the forecast itself, right? You can see it's created a new column for forecasting. This is where the historical data ends. It ends in 31st of July 2021. If you look at it, right, you can see 31st of July 2021. Now, if you look at it, my forecasting started from 31st of October 2021 till 31st of October 2026. Now, I've been able to forecast for them from 2021 to 2026, right? Now, we have lower confidence and upper confidence, in which we are going to explain later, not now, because of our time. So you can see now, forecasting is one of the things. The minimum I charge for forecasting, the moment I see that, okay, this project, especially when I get invite, this project is forecasting, they know, they always put a lot of money there. Minimum of $50 to $100, they will put it there, right, for forecasting, right? Especially if you are writing machine learning code, they put a lot of money in forecasting. And these things are basic. They are the basic right here. This is just the basic forecasting method, right? This is just the basic forecasting method. You can see now, this is basic. All I just have to do now, I've been able to forecast. All I have to do is just to write report on this forecast, and I will collect my $50. Simple as this. All I have to do is just to create a PowerPoint slide, right? A PowerPoint slide, and explain everything here. Explain it, right? And I'll send it to them. Then they will give me my $50. Simple as that. Minimum. That is the amount I charge, right? For forecasting alone. Now, apart from that, they also pay higher for data visualization. Now, let's create a visualization. How do we create a visualization? Now, I want to explain the difference between table and when your data is not in a table. Now, look at this. For those of us that have been asking to go to the practical, this is the practical now. So, for instance, they said we should get the total revenue for each of the month. So, we want to know the total revenue for each month. The total revenue generated for each month, right? The total revenue generated for each month. Now, this data is not in a table, right? This data is not in a table. This data is not in a table. Now, let me use a formula here to get the month name. If you look, I just have only dates here, right? Yes, I know. I'm still going to take questions. Don't worry. I'm just explaining. Now, what I have to do here is, I just have a date, and they tell me to get the total revenue for each month. The total revenue for each month. So all I just have to do here is come here, and I want to get month name. All right, sorry for that. So all I have to do here is, I want to get the name of the month, right? So to get the name of the month, I'll just say equals to text. I'll use the text, then select the text, come here, and in double quotes, I want to get month name, double quotes, close my bracket, and press enter, right? So all I just have to do now, you can see, Excel just did one cell for me. It did only one cell for me because my data is not in a table. Now, let me put the data in a table and you see the difference. Now, how do we put our data in a table? There are two ways. Is either you just select anywhere within your data, right? Then go to insert and click on table. That is one way. Another way is just a keyboard shortcut, Ctrl+T, and click on OK. Now you have your data in the table. Now let's get that month name again. You will see the difference now. Let's get the month name. So month name, right? So if I use the same formula, equals to text, select the date, comma, in double quotes, MMMM, double quotes, close bracket, and press enter. Look at it. It did everything for me. Now, are you getting what I was saying about table? It has told us that, okay, all these data are related. Whatever happened to this cell should happen to everything in that cell. Right? So now, back to the question. They asked me to get the total revenue for each month. Right? So all I have to do now is to come to I'll just click on summarize the pivot table. Now I have my data in a pivot table. This is what we call a pivot table, right? And pivot table is basically drag and drop. So I want to get the month name. Just drag the month name in the row. I want to get the total revenue. Drag the revenue in the values. And this will do it for you. So you want to put it in a chart now. Just come here. You can see the recommended pivot table that I was talking about. Just come here, click on pivot charts, and this will give you a chart. So I'm just going to go with this. And here we have our visualization. You can see. You can see here. I know at this point, a lot of people are going to be feeling like this, man. I know if you are feeling like, wow, Hakeem, this is great. I need to blow off my head a little bit. How many of us are feeling like this? I see someone say, please, can we continue tomorrow? For those of you that are asking for practical, you saw practical now, you are not saying anything. How many of you are feeling like this, man? Let's talk. You are feeling like, wow, this is great. I'm having a deco. I should do it again. It's like a magic. That's why I said you have to take it easy. You can see a lot of people that are saying, let's go to practical. Let's go to practical. Let's go to practical. I told you, right? Now, I have just one question for you. I have one question for you, right? I have one question for you. Now, let me tell you, Microsoft Excel and monetization is not something you can learn in one class. And we've actually moved from the total beginning to advanced, which is not supposed to be, right? So now let me ask you one simple question. Now, how many of us here today? Now, this is not for everybody. How many of us here for today would love to become a pro at Excel and make money with it? That is just a question for people that are serious and the people that are ready. The practical is not for everyone. I know, right? Now, let me tell you, Microsoft Excel is not something you can learn in one day. Monetization is not something you can learn in one day, right? It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of sacrifice. It takes a lot of learning, right? And so we all develop. We have to keep learning and learning and learning and learning, right? We have to keep on learning and learning and learning. As I am now, and so my learning time, my study time is from 12 to 2 every single day. I study for 2 hours, right? You have to keep on learning and learning. You can't say, okay, because you know formulas or you know how to create charts, then you want to stop there. No, right? If you are using Excel 2016 or 2015, you will see that there are more advanced things. I'm using the latest Excel, which is Excel 365, and there are new things inside it, right? You have to keep on learning. There are new things in Python. There are new things in Power BI. There are new things in SQL. You have to keep on learning. In SPSS, there are new things. You have to keep on learning, and you have to be ready to sacrifice. How many of us here are ready to sacrifice our time, even if it is just 1 hour per day to learn? Even if it is just 1 hour. If you are not ready, just leave. You should be ready to learn, right? Even if it is just 1 hour, right? 1 hour. If you are not ready to sacrifice anything, don't expect any money from anybody. You should be ready to sacrifice, right? So now, because we won't be able to cover everything, right, in one class. That's why I came up with what we call a 6 weeks program. A 6 weeks program that we call the Ultimate Excel Mastery and Income Blueprint. The Ultimate Excel Mastery and Income Blueprint, which is a 6 weeks live class. It's a live class on Zoom every Friday and Saturday, starting from this Friday. It comes up every Friday and Saturday, starting from this Friday. Starting from this Friday. Now, what are you going to learn in this class? What are you going to learn in this class? Now, you are going to start from the total basics, introduction of Excel to advanced Excel, right? We are going to start from the total basics. All the introduction that we did today, we are going to do it again and move to basic Excel to advanced Excel, right? You are going to learn over 50 Microsoft Excel formula. Over 50 Microsoft Excel formula. It's not for kids. If you are lazy, don't join this class. Because it's a practical class. You are going to get assignments, you are going to get classwork, and you are going to get projects. At the end of the program, you are going to write exam, and you are going to get certificate for it. So if you are lazy, don't even bother, right? So 50 Excel formula is not for kids. There are over 450, and myself, I know about 150, and I'm still learning every single day to develop myself, right? So you are going to learn data validation with Microsoft Excel. What is data validation, right? How to work with date and time, right? That one is very, very important. Data cleaning with Excel formula. Microsoft Excel table and pivot table, right? Charts, how to work with charts. It's not all the charts that you use, right? As an analyst, before you choose a chart, you have to know this chart really represents what I want to use it for, right? You need to know that, right? Slicer and timeline, you are going to learn it. Slicer and timeline to make your data set, to make your dashboard responsive, right? Data manipulation, how to manipulate your data. Dashboard creation, how to create a dashboard. Forecasting with Microsoft Excel. Now, how to create an amazing resume. You need to know how to create a resume, because I've seen a client that asked me for my resume. Yes, it's normal. They can ask you for your resume, but it's not always every time. That's why I intentionally put it as part of the class, because it has happened to me before, right? How to create an amazing resume. Freelancing, which is what I do, right? You are going to learn it, right? Portfolio creation, how to create a portfolio. Now, I use GitHub. How you can also have account like this. My picture is supposed to display here, but I don't know why, due to network, right? How to create a portfolio, right? Now, how to optimize your LinkedIn account. Your LinkedIn must be fully optimized, because if you send out a proposal, the client will check your LinkedIn. It's normal, right? It's normal. And there are some steps whereby you don't just send a proposal. If they did not respond, you send them a message on LinkedIn. So if you want to send a client a message on LinkedIn, your own LinkedIn must be fully optimized. So we are going to talk about how to optimize your own LinkedIn account. Now, this class comes up every Friday and Saturday, not just Friday, Friday and Saturday. Now, what are you going to get in this class? Now, remember I said I started with recording video and I sell it till now. Now, I sell my recorded video alone, 15,000. But if you are joining this class, you are going to get over 40 recorded video that I recorded myself as a support system. Don't forget, this is a live class, but the recorded video is a support. Let's say today is Wednesday now, right? And you have an issue. So you can just log into your LMS, watch that video, right? Watch a video on it, and it will help you before the next class, right? Maybe you message your lecturer, or you message me, I'm in a class or something, I was unable to respond, right? You can just go there, watch the video, and that will help you, because all of them has been recorded. Now, but note, this class is a live class for the next 6 weeks, every Friday and Saturday, 8:30 to 10 p.m. 8:30 to 10 p.m. Now, Excel handouts, you are going to get real life data sets. You are going to be getting data sets that you'll be using to practice. That is why when someone asks about projects on portfolio. I said you should not worry because you are going to work on projects that you will put on your portfolio to start your freelancing career, right? You are also going to be getting done with your projects, right? And I'm not the only one that will train you. You are going to be in class with other experts. At the end, you are going to get certificate of completion. Now, you will work on your project, you work on your assignment, and you will write exam before you can be qualified for the certificate. Let's be clear on that, right? We have to be sure of the people we are giving certificates. Sure, right? So you will work on projects, you will do your assignment, and you write exam before you get your certificate. Let's be clear on that. LinkedIn optimization training. Now, how to record and sell your first course online. How do you record? How do you use Zoom? How do you use OBS Studio? We are going to talk about that. How to apply and get a remote job. A 3-month remote job, a 6-month remote job, 1 year remote job, 2 years remote job. What are the type of things you should be looking out for in those type of contracts? Because if you are signing a contract on Upwork, there are things you need to look for so that you don't fall victim, right? So if you are applying for a remote job on Upwork or on LinkedIn, there are things you need to look out for on the contract so that you don't fall victim, so that they don't give you more than what is inside your contract. Because all those Oyinbos, they know how to do that very well. They know how to do that. So there are things you need to look out for on your contract if you are applying for a remote job, right? And we have a department called Swift, which is project-based. Now, if you are so good, we get projects, right? We get projects, Digital World Swift. We get a lot of projects from clients. Now, we give some of these projects out to our students that are good. That are good. Now, that's that. So, with all this, how much do you think I should charge you for this 6 weeks class? It's a batch. I'm not taking in much people. I'm just taking 20 people today. Just 20 people. So how much do you think I should charge? Right? These are testimonials from some of my students. How much do you think I should charge you? 10K. Okay. 10K. How much is 10K? 10K is not up to $5, right? Is it up to $5? No. I'm waiting. No. Should I call my price? I have some people that just say, name your price, name your price. I've seen a client like that. So I was like, Akim, how much are you going to charge me for this? Like, but if you give me that opportunity, I can charge you, right? They'll just say, you name your price, name your price. Are you that kind? Okay, 10, 20K, okay, 15K, 5K. 5K is not up to $3 now. Is it up to $3? No. 20K. Okay, 5K, no. 15K, 20K, 10K. Okay, people that are saying 5K, 5K. Who says 1K? 1K is not up to $1. God forbid. Okay, how much is this class? This class is going for just 40,000 if you are in Nigeria, and if you are in Ghana, it's 400 Ghana cedis. If you are in Cameroon, it's 14,000 CFA. Now, for those people that will pay, for the first 20 people that will pay before the end of this webinar, we have less than 10 minutes to go. Before the end of tonight's webinar, I created a slide for you, right? I created a slide for you. For those of us that are paying, right? I know a lot of people will say, thank you, thank you, thank you, right? For those of you that will pay tonight before the webinar rounds up, it is just 10,000 Naira. And I'm not taking a lot of people. There is a batch already. There is a batch. So you are joining that batch. The batch that will start this Friday. The class is starting this Friday. This Friday. Don't say I did not tell you. This Friday, right? It's Friday and Saturday. 8:30 to 10 p.m. Nigerian time. If you're in Ghana, it's 7:30 to 9. If you're in Cameroon, it's still 8:30 to 10. 10,000 for Nigerian, right? And if you're in Ghana, it's just 100 Ghana cedis. If you're in Cameroon, it's 4,000 CFA for the first 20 people. Now, these first 20 people, we get access to their LMS, right? We get access to their LMS. 10,000 Naira for Nigerians. If you're in Ghana, it's just 100 Ghana cedis. If you're in Cameroon, it's just 4,000 CFA for the very first 20 people that will pay tonight. Now, once you make your payment, you drop your payment proof in the group. The account number has been dropped in the group, right? And also, if you are making payment, this is also the account number, Money Point, Digital World Tech Academy Online, right? It's 5495591922. 10,000 naira for the very first 20 people. If you are in Ghana, you pay into Vodacash, right? It's 050438960, right? If you're in Ghana, it's just 100 Ghana cedis. And if you're in Cameroon, it's just 4,000 CFA. You pay into Momo, 682304 right? If you're in Cameroon. Now, the moment you make your payment tonight, drop your payment proof in the group, right? The account detail has been dropped in the group on WhatsApp. So you drop your payment proof in the group. Our admin will confirm your payment and send you a registration form. Now, make sure you fill the correct information in that form, because you'll be added to the paid class, right? Here is the account number for Nigeria: 5495591922, Digital World Tech Academy Online. Now, you are going to get a mail that looks like this: receipt for data analysis. Now, for the very first 20 people that will pay tonight, right? For the very first 20 people that will pay tonight, so they are going to get my old data analysis course in their LMS, right? The old data analysis course in their LMS. Now, look at, you are going to receive a mail that will look like this, right? And you have your own login detail and your password. So you can click on study data analysis, right? Or my connection is not private. What does that mean? Reload. Let me come here and go to Digital World, our website, Digital World Tech Academy. So all you just have to do is click on student login, right? You know why is this? So if you click on study data analysis, now it's supposed to take you to the login detail, right? But you just click on student login. So I don't know why this is not working. I'm going to tell our web designer to work on it. Now you click on student login. So now the login detail that you see in your mail, your email and your password will be sent directly to your mail, right? That is what you are going to use to log in here. So just click on login. Just click on login. Now, the moment you click on login, it's going to bring you here, right? Okay, it has gone. Okay, it's here now. So it was the network, right? The moment you log in, right, you are going to see my course, right? For me, I have 3 courses, but for you, you are going to have just 1. So just click on my course. Just click on my course. You can say I have video editing, I have digital marketing, but for you, you are going to have data analysis, the full data analysis, right? So just click on study. Just click on study. Now, the moment you click on study, for those of you that are paying tonight, you are going to get full access to the full data analysis course. So I think the network is slow. So now, but note, this is just a support system. This is just to support you, right? The class is live class. I don't know why it's taking too long to load. Okay, now, this is just intro. So welcome to the data analytics masterclass. In today's masterclass, what we are going to focus on. So then you can start going through it. So you can go into Microsoft Excel, right? Just play it. Introduction to Excel. Now, these are some of the recorded video that I've done in the past that I was selling. That and every other thing. There's actually not much difference. It's just, I think. So you can start going through it. You can see. Just need to. It started from introduction to Excel, Microsoft Excel backend, right? Microsoft Excel backend. Talking about Microsoft Excel backend. Work with we've done Microsoft Excel window. Actually talk a little bit about. Now it's a live class on Zoom every Friday on Zoom. Every Friday, 8:30 to 10 p.m. Nigerian time. All right, let me take your question. The account detail has been dropped in the group. Now, let me show you. That's not just all. For those of you that are paying tonight, For those of you that the class focus on Excel is a 6 weeks class, and we are starting from the total basic to advanced Excel. How you can create a dashboard with Excel, right? The full data analysis with Microsoft Excel. I'm not teaching Power BI, I'm not teaching SQL. We can cover all those ones in 6 weeks. Now, not just only Excel, right? Not just only Excel. We are also going to cover freelancing, portfolio creation, LinkedIn optimization in these 6 weeks. So it's just 10,000 naira for those of us that are paying. The same time on Friday and Saturday, 8:30 to 10 p.m. Nigerian time, 7:30 to 9 p.m. Ghanaian time. Cameroon is still the same time, 8:30 to 10 p.m. Cameroonian time, right? Do you reach this? Yes, it's a dashboard. You are going to create a dashboard. Now, for those of you that are paying tonight, on your own LMS, you are still going to get access to Power BI videos, right? Videos on Power BI. You will get access to videos on SQL, right? For those of you that are paying tonight, then after that, you're also going to get access to bonuses, portfolio creation, how to upload project on Portfolio, creating resume, LinkedIn optimization, freelancing, and you are still going to get bonus on my Python essential. How you can write Python variable. For those of us that are new, right? Python variable is still loading. So
comment or single line comment. It depends on what you want to write. You can tell.
So,
and it's going to print the uppercase which contains welcome to class. So if I run this, to say hello.
So how to write your own Python code. So you are going to get all these bonus for those people that are paying tonight. What time on Saturday? I've answered that. If you have a question, please raise your hand. Raise your hand. How do we access? The moment you make your payment, drop your payment proof in the group. Then once you drop your payment proof in the group, our admin will confirm your payment. Once our admin confirm your payment, you will send a DM, you send a message to the person that confirm your payment, right? Then the person will send you the login detail, right? The person will send you the login details. The person will add you to the paid group. Sorry, I don't want this. The person will add you to the paid group. So once the person adds you to the paid group, the person will also send you the registration form. Now, make sure you fill the correct information inside that registration form, because that is how you are going to get access. That is what we are going to use to give you access to your LMS. So within 24 hours, you are going to, just send him a DM. Just send him a DM. So the moment you get access, the moment you drop your payment proof, you are going to fill your registration form. Then you'll be added to the paid group. You will see the moment you join the paid group, there is an existing student there, right? But the class will start on Friday, right? We already have existing students. The class will start together, so you are joining them together on Friday, right? So the moment you fill your registration form, then you'll be added to the paid group, and you're going to receive a mail that looks like this: receipt for data analysis, right? Then all you just have to do is click on study data analysis, or just go to Digital World Tech Academy, then click on student login, and you're going to use your login details to be part of the mail they are going to receive. So then you can just log into your LMS. All right, let me take question. If you are, please, your internet connection, what is it that we are paying for? It's a live class, a 6 weeks live class that will start on Friday. A 6 weeks live class that will start on Friday, and we are not taking much people. We are just taking 20 people. A 6 weeks live class from total basics of Excel to advanced Excel, creating dashboard, doing data cleaning with Excel, and doing all sorts of things with Microsoft Excel, right? Then you are going to get access to monetization of skill program. How can you monetize the skill? How to create Upwork account, Fiverr account, LinkedIn optimization, right? Yes, it's a total beginner. It's from total beginner. You don't need to have any knowledge at all. So we are starting from the introduction to Excel, right? we are starting from the introduction to Excel. We are already more than 20 people. Is that correct? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm not sure you're up to 20 people, right? But the moment you have up to 20 people, okay, all right, okay, let me do it like this. Since someone said we are more than 20 already, we have capacity of 500 people. I can take 500 people, but I'm not taking 500 people. So what we are doing is anybody that makes payment tonight, okay, all the people that makes payment tonight, we get 10,000 naira. You get to pay just 10,000 naira. If you are in Nigeria, if you are in Ghana, it's just 100 Ghana cedis. If you are in Cameroon, it's 4,000 CFA. All the people that makes payments tonight, all the people that makes payment tonight. All right, let me take your question. Let me take your question. Let me take your question. If you have your question, and question. Let me take your question if you have question. For those of you that have been asking me questions since the time that we started, let me take your question now. Let me take your question. No, I'm waiting. You can raise your hand if you want to speak. Raise your hand. Let me take your question. Raise your hand if you have any question. Where is the account detail? The account detail has been dropped in the group, right? Drop your payment proof in the group. Just drop it in the group. Our admin will confirm your payment. Just drop it in the group. So here is the account detail if you are paying. If you are paying, here is the account detail. So, sir, please explain data visualization. Data visualization is the graphical representation of your data. Whereby you are putting your data in charts, something that we did, something like this, whereby you put your data in chart, then you organize it together to create what we call a dashboard, right? To create what we call a dashboard. Now, it clashes with your MBA class. Now, if you miss class, you also have access to the replay of that particular class, right? Of that particular class. Right? Yes, the moment you log in, will there be a message on how to log in? Yeah, there is a video on how to log in, but it's not so hard. Just search for Digital World Tech Academy, right? Go to our website and click on student login. Once you click on student login, the login detail will be part of the mail that you receive. So just use that login detail to log in, right? So let me log out again. Let me log out, right? So it's going to bring you here. So you are going to see your email and password. How can you create a dashboard? To create a dashboard is something you still have to learn, right? Because we still have to create what we call a dashboard template. What we call a dashboard template, right? So we use shapes and text box to create that dashboard template. So now once you create a dashboard template, you now start putting your charts. All those things are what we call organizing your dashboard, arranging your chart. Now, after arranging your chart, you will link it together using something that we call slicer or timeline. So let me show you an example of that. I think I do have it. Right, I'm coming. Please give me a minute. I think this is one. Now, this is a visual. This is what we call a dashboard. What you see right here is what we call a dashboard. And here, if you look at this, we have this thing that looks like this is a slicer that looks like a button. This is a slicer. So if you click on it, it's going to change some information. Now you can see the information will change. Let me move back a bit, right? So if I click on this, the information will change. You can see the information will change, right? So this is linking your data together. So what we have here is a slicer, but here I did not have what we call a timeline. There's also a timeline. Do you understand? So is it okay if you use WPS Excel Office? Yes, but I will advise if you can get Excel software, it will be of a great benefit to you if you can get Excel software. All right, let me take Kaggle. Okay, I'm coming back to Kaggle. So this person who is confirming payment, drop your payment proof in the group. Please, you can talk now. Please go ahead.
Yeah, please can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Okay, so my name is Olois from Ghana. I
All right.
sent you a message that I don't use Vodafone, so because of that I can't make the payment tonight.
I can't hear
So is
you.
it possible to make
Okay,
it
just send
tomorrow
me a
morning?
DM on WhatsApp.
Okay, sure,
Just
sure.
send me a DM on
All right.
WhatsApp. I will see what I can do about that.
All right, all right. I'll do so.
All right. Okay. So like I said earlier, if you miss a class, there is a replay of that particular class. The replay will be dropped in the group. Is there any chance you'll be? No, we are not teaching SQL. We are not teaching Python. We are not teaching Power BI. This, what we are focusing on now, is Excel. You need to be very good with Excel before you can go into Power BI, right? Because Power BI is basically data visualization and you are writing your DAX. So if you are not good with Excel, you are going to have issues when we get to Power BI. You are going to have a bit of issues when you get to Power BI, when you get to SQL, because SQL is code, right? For instance, yes, the Kaggle. Now, if you go to, yeah, it's fine. You can go, but it's out of date. You can take your laptop to any engineer to do installation for you, to just install the latest Excel for you. Now, if you go to Kaggle, right? Kaggle website. So Kaggle website, you can download different data sets from Kaggle right here, right? Let me just sign in. Let me sign in with my Google account. So I think the network is, okay. So you can just download any data, right? You can download data set from here, from Kaggle, right? You can download, just come to data set and you're going to see a whole lot of data sets that you can use, right? If you want all data set, if you want data set on machine learning, right? A data set on different things, you can see it right here. Now, for those of you that are talking about SQL, Python, let me show you one SQL, right? So that you will notice, you will know what you are going into. I'll just open my workbench, right? I'll open my workbench. Now, you need to be very, very good with Excel. That's my advice. My advice is try to always start with Excel. Always start with Excel. Start with Excel, right? Then after that, you can go into that. You can go into SQL or Python later, but be good with Excel first. So now, if you look at, this is an SQL script, right? This is an SQL script. This is an SQL script. You can see here, this is an SQL script. If you are not good with Excel, there's no way you'll be able to write this script, because there are some things that we use in Excel that here you just know that, okay, we've used this in Excel. It's not a new thing to you again, right? The same thing with Python, right? If I should open my Python for you now, let me just see if I can open it for you, right? Let me open my Anaconda prompt, right? Jupyter Notebook, right? So I'm just showing you all this so that you know it's good to start from the basics, right? It's always good to start from the basics. Don't just say, okay, you don't need Excel. You want to like go directly into SQL or Python. It's not advisable. It's not something that I always advise my students to do. It's not something that I always advise my students to do. Let me just open the class that I did yesterday. Now, if you look at this, yes, I'm in question and answer section now. I'm coming to answer your question, right? Now, if you look at this, this is pandas in Microsoft in Python, right? This is pandas in Python. This is pandas right here. Though you can create visualization, you can do a whole lot of other things, right? You can do a whole lot of other things, but it's pure coding. It is pure coding, right? You can see we have some visualization here, but it is pure coding. This chart that you see here is developed by this code, right? It is pure coding. It is pure coding. So you need to be very, very good. You need to have basic knowledge from the beginning before you can get to this part. This is advanced. If you jump here like this, you won't understand anything. Do you understand? If you jump here, you won't understand anything. Do you get it now? Someone is asking, what is the difference between business analysis and financial analysis? Now, business analysts are the people that help organizations to analyze and solve business problems. Now, basically, they are looking at the needs of company. For instance, if a company needs to upgrade, let's say they have a payment plan, like a payment platform that they are using, right? And they want to upgrade. So it's the work of business analysts to help them to develop a plan, right? Analyze it and see how they can actually solve that problem and how the problem can help them to solve a whole lot of other things, right? How that solution can help them to solve their problem. Do you understand? Now, financial analysts are the people that basically analyze financial data sets. Do you understand? They help us to analyze, they help business to analyze financial data sets, like auditing. Do you get it now? So that's that. I think we are good to go now. Is there any other question? I will drop the replay of tonight's class in the group. So you can still make your payment tonight. If you want to join the class, you can still make your payment tonight. So the class is starting on Friday by the special grace of God. You are going to be meeting a whole lot of lecturers in the class on Friday by the special grace of God. So the link will be dropped in the group. The link will be dropped in the group, in the paid group. The link to the paid class, will be dropped in the paid group. Do you understand now? The link will be dropped in the paid group. I said you are going to receive the email within 24 hours. They will still need to give you access. Is there another section tomorrow? There's no class tomorrow. The live class is starting on Friday. The class is starting on Friday. Tomorrow is Thursday, so the live class is starting on Friday. All right. So is there any other question from anybody before we call it a day? Is there any other question from anybody before we call it a day? Do we have any other question? Is there any other question? All right. Were you able to learn something in today's class? Were you able to learn something in today's class? Thank you very much. Mr. Joseph, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yes, I told you. Okay, Chris said he has a question. Let me just take Chris before we call it a day. Chris, please unmute. Chris, please unmute. Mr. Chris, please unmute. Mr. Chris. All right. So you can give me a call on the phone if you have. Okay, yeah, you've unmuted now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. I started learning SQL recently, so I only know a little basics of SQL.
Like
But can I still be able to learn this Excel?
Yes, Excel is starting from the total basics. After Excel, try to learn Power BI before going into SQL. It's going to help you a lot. Learn Excel, Power BI, then move to SQL. Then after SQL, you can go into Python, R, but start with Excel first. Leave SQL for now. Focus on learning Excel.
Okay, so but
then you can go.
Right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. Okay, so with zero idea or knowledge of Excel, I can still be able to learn very well.
Yeah,
right?
We are starting from the total basics of Excel. Introduction to Excel.
Okay, I have Excel 20. I think it's 2021 or something. Is it okay?
It's perfect. Now let me quickly tell you, for those of us that already have Excel, you need to check the version of Excel you are using. It's very, very important. You need to check the version of Excel you are using. It's very, very important. So if you are using the lower version, it's not going to help you. So if you go to File, right, just go to File, then go to Account. You can see I'm using Office 365, right? I'm using Office 365, Microsoft Office 365, which is the latest version, right? So my advice is try to get Office 2021 or 365. That will help you. But if you are using Office 2016, you are not going to have a formula like VLOOKUP, XLOOKUP, all those ones. Do you understand? Yes, it's 100 Ghana cedis for those that pay tonight. Yeah, go ahead.
But if I'm using Excel 2021, I can still have all those
yeah, you will have
options and
XLOOKUP, you will
functions,
have
right?
VLOOKUP. Yes, they are there in Excel 2021.
Okay, anticipating for the class on Friday. I'm really ready.
All right.
And excited to be part of it.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. With the class today, I think I learned a little things.
All right.
I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. All right, I have Mustafa Alaji. Please unmute. This is the last question I'm going to take before we call it today. This is almost 10:30. Mr. Mustafa Alaji, please go ahead. Is it Mr.? Okay. Hello.
Sir.
Yeah, good evening.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, go ahead. I can hear you now.
Sir, I have two questions.
Okay, number one.
After the 6 week program,
yeah,
do you even have a chance to enter like log into the Upwork?
Yeah,
can we be part of the Upwork?
We are going to talk about Upwork. So the moment you learn it, I think we are going to talk about that is what we are going to talk about on Friday. We are going to talk about freelancing on Friday and Saturday. This Friday and Saturday, we are talking about freelancing, right? So if you learned anything, just practice it. That's it. The moment you learn something, try to take action on it. So your Upwork account, it's your own. Do you understand? It's your own.
Yes, sir.
Any other question? I can't hear you. You are breaking. Hello?
The Excel.
Yeah.
I say, can you attach the file so that we can download it?
You cannot download Excel because you need to activate it. You need to activate Excel. You understand? So just take your laptop to any computer engineer to help you install it.
Okay. You say which one is the best?
If you can get 365 or you get 2021, it's fine. 365 or 2021. All right. Okay, thank you very much. Oh, Mr. Emmanuel, okay. Mr. Emmanuel Rabi, please go ahead. Mr. Emmanuel, please go ahead. Mr. Emmanuel,
okay. Yeah. Please, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead. I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead. Mr. Emmanuel, I can't hear you again. You're not saying anything. I think it's your network. So just try. Just try to call me on WhatsApp.
Please, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Just call me on WhatsApp after the class. Just call me on WhatsApp. Then I'll answer all your questions. All right. Someone is asking, I should talk about how to check your Excel version. I talked about it now, but let me talk about it again before we call it a day. Just click on File, right? The moment you open your Excel, just click on File, then go to Account. Go to Account. You are going to see the version of Excel you are using. Do you understand? You are going to see the version of Excel you are using. So that is how to check it. All right. You are using Excel 2013. I will advise if you can upgrade it. If you can upgrade it, it's fine. My name is Akim Abiodun. Yeah, just call me on WhatsApp at the end of the class. So if you can upgrade it, it's going to be very, very, because Excel 2013 doesn't really have a lot of things. Madam Messi, Excel 2013 is not so good, right? As a matter of fact, it's not going to help you, because if you're writing a formula like sequence, XLOOKUP, right, you are not going to be able to do that. Ifs, right, you won't be able to do it, right? All those some ifs. So I'll advise if you can get is either Office 365 or 2021. They are both okay. Do Do you understand? So you get 2021 or you get 365. All right, so that is that for tonight. Thank you. Just take your laptop to any computer engineer. They will do the installation for you. Just install it. We are going to talk about 2021. We are going to talk about Fiverr and Upwork this Friday and Saturday. Then next week, Friday, we are going to start straight into Excel. All right. Thank you very much. Mr. Emmanuel, just send me a DM on WhatsApp or give me a call. All right. Thank you very much. So if you still want to make your payment, you can still make payments tonight. Right, if you are making your payment, you can still make your payment tonight, right? So thank you very much. No, sure. You are going to meet me in class on Friday. If you are not meeting me, you'll meet Mr. Ife that will take you on freelancing, because we are talking on freelancing. Your number, you can pick my number from the group, and also my number is 09116142614. That's my number, right? Or you can just pick my number from the group. If you message any of the admin to send you my number, they'll send you my number straight. Or you can pick my number and send me a DM. This is my number here, 09116142614. This is my number, 09116142614. All right. Thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye, and I will see you in class on Friday. Bye, and have a wonderful night rest. Bye-bye.